네, 이번에는 기자님만의 프리한 시선으로 배우를 만나보는 코너죠. 스타프리뷰 시간인데요. 기자님, 오늘은 굉장히 어마어마한 분을 만나고 왔다는 정보를 제가 얼핏 들었던 것 같은데 어떤 분이죠?
더 말이 필요 없을 것 같습니다. 아이언맨 만나고 왔습니다.
오, 네. 드디어 오늘인가요?
드디어 오늘입니다.
네, 그럼 스타프리뷰를 통해서 로버트 다우니 주니어 지금 바로 만나보시겠습니다.
올레tv. Crazed fans all around Korea. I'm pretty crazed myself. I'm so excited to be here. I was told that so many Koreans have already reserved tickets to come see Age of Ultron. I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
네, 오늘 스타프리뷰의 주인공으로는 배우 로버트 다우니 주니어 씨 모셨습니다. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Welcome back to Korea.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, so happy to meet you.
Oh.
I was just at the Avengers movie premiere in LA actually.
Ah.
So I saw the movie. The movie was amazing.
It's really good, huh?
Yeah, the witty, dark, but still fun.
Yeah.
And it was beyond my expectation, definitely. So how do you feel? Are you satisfied with it?
I felt the same thing. I mean, you always can get a little, I don't know, it's like if you have a great first date, you always think, well, I hope that the second date, maybe it's not going to be as good. And audiences, myself included, have just kind of, the first Avengers, like, oh my God, that just did it. That brought all these characters together. And then so you hope that the second one is as good. And I actually, most everybody who's seen the movie said, Robert, I can't believe it. This Age of Ultron is better than the first Avengers.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
There are no strings on me.
And I saw the movie, but the viewers haven't yet.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about the new sequel and what happened to Tony?
Yes. Well, Tony's been through a lot. You know, in the first Avengers, he basically goes through a wormhole. He does the sacrifice play for the team. Iron Man 3, he's a little PTSD, and he has to kind of get back to basics. And then he thinks, maybe I can create this system to protect us from outside threats. And he makes a really big mistake. And then for once, he actually needs the team. He needs the team to help clean up the mess that he made.
Right. And I love Iron Man because he never loses his sense of humor, no matter how bad the situation is. What is the beauty of being Iron Man for you?
Yeah, that was kind of always our idea, is once he has his big change where he decides he's not just going to sell weapons and he's going to just fight to survive, and he's going to make this suit and he's going to try to make the world a better place. I always thought, well, sometimes these movies, they get really kind of like, all right, we get it, you're a great guy, like, Mike, we get it, everything's really serious. And just as someone who loves movies, I always like it when someone, they take what they're doing seriously, but they don't take themselves too seriously.
Yes, yes.
Shakespeare in the Park. Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
The Robert Downey Jr. and the Iron Man, the Tony Stark, how do you two influence each other?
Well, I mean, I participated in creating this character. you know, people identify that character with me kind of strangely, almost like they really think of us very similarly.
Like especially kids did, right?
The kids definitely do, but I mean, even just sometimes public perception. So it's a lot to live up to being a guy who has suits and flies around and has billions of dollars and is always kind of humorous all the time because, you know, I'm just a person.
And what do you envy the most about Tony Stark?
I mean, he definitely is having these kind of crazy, cool adventures all the time, you know? But then I was thinking about it, like, you know, we get to jump on a plane and fly to Korea and go to these fan events. Like, we're going to this event tonight. I think it's at like, it's like at a convention center. It's like kind of way out of town. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna go there and we're gonna go on a stage and like, we're all just gonna like party. We're just gonna go crazy and it's gonna be fun. So it's a very safe adventure. I guess I admire, you know, that he takes these, he's risking his life all the time to try to keep the world safe.
You know, the superhero movies are so big right now, and you know, it was mentioned in the movie Birdman.
And when we come back, an exclusive interview with Robert Downey Jr., who's busy following up his billion-dollar Iron Man franchise with the equally successful Avengers series. He will take us behind the scenes.
That clown doesn't have half your talent, and he's making a fortune in that Tin Man getup.
So, but do you think there is a fundamental difference between the like a works of stage actors and the Hollywood actor on the, you know, the movie set?
I wonder. I just think that there's talent. There's good, in my opinion, there's people who can do anything, and then there's people who do one thing well and something else not so well. And I've done theater and drama and all that stuff, and you know, you never know what you're going to do in the future. But it's really interesting because these big movies have kind of helped the industry have prosperous years, and so a smaller movie, like, you know, if Chris Evans wasn't Captain America, then Snowpiercer wouldn't have had the attention it had in some ways, you know. Like, I like the director anyway, but I saw Snowpiercer because my friend was in it. And then I was like, wow, this guy's an amazing filmmaker. So it can kind of help bring attention to people that, that might do well to have more exposure.
In the movie, the Iron Man, you are soloist, and in Avengers, you are a part of the ensemble.
Yeah.
How is it different?
It's easier, and you kind of just get to look after each other because, you know, I'm sure even like the crew and the producer of your show, I mean, sometimes you spend more time with each other than you do with your husbands, wives, girlfriends, families, kids, or whatever, and so you kind of need that camaraderie. And I've gotten to know Chris and Mark and Scarlett and all the new folks, and, you know, Claudia now and all these people, and we genuinely like each other's company, which is nice, because I've heard stories about people, they make these big movies together, but they kind of like don't like each other, you know?
Yes, that's true. And who inspired you the most from the Avengers crew?
Recently, I would say Scarlett, because she was she was pregnant, and we're doing this movie. And then, like, she had the baby, and then went back and did a bunch of, like, you know, fight stuff and everything, and then we were doing like a show in LA, the Jimmy Kimmel show, and she was backstage with her baby. passing him around to all of us weirdos. We're like, hey, give her to me. We're like passing his little daughter around. I was like, wow, she's something else.
Wow, great. And, you know, by the way, I love the bromance, you and Hulk, you know, and the guys, you guys are like intense, crazy love, you know, in time with the Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
It was a nice revenge for Rocky.
Puny God.
Yeah.
How do you feel that one?
Well, I remember reading the comics that there was always this kind of worst case scenario plan where, you know, where Banner and Stark agreed, like, we need to make a suit that can stop you when you get green. And I always thought, wow, if we had that sequence in the movie, it kind of had to be, it's like having to stop a friend that's going too far and you need to get them out of a situation. Afterwards, you don't go, hey, see you tomorrow. You kind of go, hey, we got to talk about this,
Yes.
you know? So, and I think Joss did a really smart thing in that he made these kind of big entertainment issues between the characters. He hearkened them into real situations that happen really with people.
Yes.
So it feels like you can somehow or other you can relate to it.
And you know, you already established yourself as a, you know, the prominent actor in your 20s, like with the movie like Chaplin or the Shortcut.
You might as well be dropping rattlesnakes in a schoolyard, man.
He seems smart and kind, and he spends his days filling the.
Awesome.
And then you went through the, you know, like a turbulence roller coaster ride, and then now you're the most famous man in the world. And what is gain, and what have you lost in this, you know, from this dramatic ride?
I think everybody's life is dramatic. You know, sometimes I know that people who have had the most kind of consistent lives, they've actually had to weather sometimes even more because they've had to keep themselves in balance for so long. But you know, now that I'm 50 and
Happy birthday.
Thank you, and I have like 3 kids and I'm, you know, married, and I just look back on it as kind of like this, there was this history, you know, and I was really young, but the one thing I've always had is I've always loved making movies for folks to see. And so it's just been, it's kind of been a saving grace for me.
This where you sleep?
I used to sleep on Wall Street, but it's too dirty.
And it's been over 45 years since your acting debut at 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What does acting mean to you at this moment?
I mean, it is my job, but it's also, it's kind of like my joy. I really still enjoy it. You know, I couldn't really think of anything else to do, so I'm fortunate in that way.
Wow. Lori, you look beautiful.
And they were too busy to treat her at the moment. They'd already given her.
Getting married.
You lost a few pounds, huh?
Yes, and you've picked them up.
I remember you promised to Susan you're gonna bring some, you know, good stuff from Korea in the movie premiere in Red Cafe. So, do you have any? You know?
Well, that's what I want to ask you. What would a gal like? I was thinking maybe like some I don't know, like some sweatshirts or some Korean sneakers, or what neighborhood, what shopping district should I go to get her real Korean stuff?
Like Angguk station, like Insadong.
Yeah?
Insadong, it's a authentic things you can get there.
What's it called?
Insadong.
Insadong.
And you can get it like...
I'm gonna have to watch this when it airs so I'll know where to go.
Maybe you can get her some, for the baby girls.
Yes.
Korean, traditional dolls, something like that.
She would love that.
Yes.
Okay, you'll remind me when we're done again.
Yes. Thank you for the interview.
You're very welcome.
And I hope see you again.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yes.
I like it here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes!
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're the best.
Wish for the hour that the nighttime seems to pass, and the morning dew bring us to a day our souls can last. Love has a reason, there's a meaning to the world. We're giving love. Yeah.
네, 스타프리뷰를 통해서 로버트 다우니 주니어 만나보셨습니다. 어떤 설문조사에서는 우리나라 사람들이 가장 좋아하는 배우 1순위에 로.다.주를 다 적어주셨다고 하더라고요.
그러니까요. 요즘에는 그냥 로버트 다우니 주니어라는 표현보다 로.다.주라고 하면 다 알아듣더라고요.
네, 그 이름도 멋있는 것 같아요, 로.다.주.
네, 그러니까요. 그냥 그 팬들이 애칭을 만들어주고 나면 그의 이름을 불러주는 것이 훨씬 더 다정해지고 그러면서 점점점 친숙해지고 뭐 이런 느낌 같은 걸 받는 것 같아요, 확실히.
네, 그럼 프리한 시선으로 만나본 로버트 다우니 주니어의 영화들 어벤져스, 아이언맨 1, 2, 3편, 더 저지, 셜록 홈즈, 블랙 앤 화이트 등은 모두 다 올레TV를 통해서 감상하실 수 있으니까 로버트 다우니 주니어, 로.다.주의 다양한 매력에 푹 한번 빠져보세요.